Hey y'all, Mr. Tim's. This is a 416 Caterpillar I got. It's like an 85. And today I am going to be working on changing the hydraulic cylinders seals back here. And you can see I've already got started because this is the first time I've done this, but there's some really good informational videos on the internet that let me understand how to do it. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so this is you can tell this boom, this cylinder has been sitting here dripping, dripping all over the bucket. So I'm gonna do this with it on the machine. Everything that's where you take it off, you got to have a really good table or vise. So if you leave the barrel on the machine and leave it all hooked up here, you can leave that line hooked up. I may have to take this line off. You get a lot more leverage on it. So the first things I did, I went and got some cold chisels, and then of course that's like a 3-foot 36-inch steel pipe wrench. First thing, making sure that this pin will come out, this pin will slide up, and then this will be able to come off. And then of course I put the pipe wrench on here and was pleasantly surprised that it didn't take that much effort to pull off. I've seen some of the guys that are showing these, and they are absolutely horrendous. They're having to use a forklift to put on there, but I've got it to now where it'll turn. And I stopped and went and got the camera because I did want to document this, but you could see the water had started dripping out. I might have to put the pipe wrench back on that here, and it's hard to do one-handed, but the water started dripping out. And I'm gonna get this off and then I'll come back to you. But look at the shape my seal's in. It's rough. Well, crap. That is water. And there's oil, and milky oil. So got it. You see what's coming out of there? That's rough, y'all. This is sick. You can see there's a little bit of, it's not really able to feel that, but it does look like it's on its way to rusting. There's a little bit there. I'll sand all that off. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this pin off and get this off and see if I can get this whole cylinder off. All right, so drove this pin out. It's just a slotted pin, and you can see I've started to wedge this out, and I've got this. I brought this back up here just to get the weight back this way, and I've got a board under here. I've got it wedged there, and I got it kind of propped up. All right, so started pulling on this. I got this on there for leverage, and I had to undo this line, although because it's on top, I'm not really losing a lot of fluid. But you can see up here in that cylinder, it's still milky. I'm gonna flush all this anyway. Probably gonna take that line. Now that I've got the pressure released, I am able to kind of work this back. It's hard to do one-handed in film. Sorry guys, I'm not much on cameraman, but I am just using this to torque it back and forth like this, and then I'm pulling as I come, and it's sliding out. All right, so I got to a sticking point. I wasn't able to pull this anymore. So here's my workaround. I've got a winch on it here, hooked up to my Humvee, and I'm just winching it out. Got the pickle here, and you can see it slowly coming out there. Kind of stop there. Didn't get it on video, but you can imagine what happened. You know, I had to pull this. I had to remove the block here, so this would be in a straight angle with my winch, and then I just wasn't able to get up here in time to keep it from falling. So that's on the ground over there. Oh, I'm gonna have to clean it up. I don't want it on the ground, and then this kind of fell close to the bucket, which is good, and all that crap went in. And yes, just absolutely gross, nasty. But I don't see a lot of rust in there, so, which is good. Maybe I've saved that barrel. Cylinder doesn't look rusty. And I did my best not to pull it at an angle So where I bent that shaft, you bend that shaft. All right, so I've just got this back on the pin here. Again, I'm using the backhoe as the workbench because you know, you've got to have that pin. You've got to have something holding this stuff so you can put pressure on it. Now this is what I'm worried about the most. I've seen a lot of problems with this. It's a big nut. I don't have any big tools that big. I'm gonna try that. If not, I'm gonna have to go invest in some big sockets. All right, so I had a set of these bigger wrenches, and this nut's about a 1.5, might be 1/7/16. The 1.5 was going on it, but I couldn't get enough leverage, even doubled up the wrenches. So I was using this underneath it, flip this around to put the wrench underneath it, because you need to have this held as close to this so you're not bending that shaft, right? And to get more leverage on the nut. And so I put the pipe wrench, that 3-foot pipe wrench from Harbor Freight, on it, and I was able to just kind of get down on it low and break it. So I'm gonna switch it up now. I'm gonna put that back under and use the wrench and see if I can get it off. All right, so this is my setup now, and I've got it going. See how there's a little slop in there? That's a 1.5 inch. It might be a 1/7/16. But right now this is working and it's not tearing up the bolt. I've seen people talk about this bolt after you break it just being a bear the whole way off because it's got thread locker. It's supposed to have thread locker on it, which I'll put back on it when I put it back together. But right now this thing's being a pussycat, so I'll take it. All right, so that nut's off, and there might be a little evidence of some thread locker up there, but not a lot. You know, I'm definitely gonna put it back on there because that bolt's what keeps this thing from flying out and killing somebody. So I'll take this guy off. It's pretty good in there. I mean, I don't see any like rust or anything anywhere. It's just good. I'm gonna take all this and just really clean it up real well. Yeah, I mean, the shaft, it was probably on its way if I didn't do something quick. So then this is going to take 2 hands because even though it's, there we go. Get this lid off here. All right, so God, man, look at this. Look at these seals. I mean, all the way down in there. Maybe that third seal was the only one, but look at these other ones. They're just rotten. And like I said, this is an 85. These may have never been changed. So anything I do to this is going to be better than what it was, as long as I put new seals in it. But I'm going to get this thing cleaned up. All right, so I've been to the Caterpillar store. They got this seal kit for me. There's a tag on the backhoe that has the cylinder, the specs on it, and they were able to pull it up with that. Of course, I had the serial number for my machine, but each one of these are individually bagged, which I like. I'm going to just slowly kind of work through them. I can tell that, you know, this is going to go over here. This is the dust ring. This is definitely going over here. I'm going to try to work with this guy first, and then get all these on. You see these smaller ones. These are going to go over here. Pretty sure. The bigger ones right there. So let me work through these. I'm going to take them off, try to do them, you know, one piece at a time, and then we'll get back to it. All right, so I got this one done. Easy enough. This 2-part seal was here. It goes like this together. There's a softer inner part. This is a harder. When I went and used these picks to get it out, this one broke. That's okay. I didn't use any tools to put it back on. And then this is an easy one. So this is probably the easiest thing to do here. Dunked it in a little bit of hydraulic fluid and then just kind of worked it on by hand, working on this space, trying to keep everything very clean. All right, so got these seals out, and can you see what the problem was? These were just dry rotted. This is the second one down. This is the dust cap. Basically this is this seal. It just deteriorated. There is a little bit of surface rust right in here. I'll have to sand that off, but I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time cleaning the inside of this up to make sure I get a good seal. These two came out. These are a 2-part seal, which I have this there. So this goes on the bottom, which I have matched here. These two go over here, which I have matched here with these set. And then this seal is here. It was really dry rotted and came to pieces, but I tried to make sure I got all of it there, but the dust cap is just really rough. So I'm going to take an emery board or something and just get in there and sand this out and then clean it up. This is the dust cap, so I had to beat this out. So all right, got the dust ring in, the dust seal, and it wasn't too bad. I just seated it with just a flat punch there, and then gave it some solid blows, and she seated all the way down. So that looks nice and flush there. It's good. Everything's clean. I went around and this edge that seals against the barrel, I went around to just make sure there's no burrs and sanded on that. One thing I noticed when I took this off, I was going over the threads and I found a little burr, like I guess maybe when I was taking it off, it scratched up right here. You can see it's a little rough right in there, and so I went and just took my pick and just tried to straighten those out and got those burrs kind of softened up, so hopefully they won't give me much trouble threading back on. So that's what I've done to prepare it. Let's go get it back on. The rod all cleaned up, got a little hydraulic fluid on here, and then give it the test, and it's wiping all that hydraulic fluid off, and it's dry back here, so seals are good and tight. Got a little thread locker on here and get this thing seated. So better late than never. I was sliding this guy on, actually screwing it in with the cylinder in there, and forgot to put these two on. So thankfully I was able to pull it back out of the barrel and just slip them on over here and got them into place. But man, glad that wasn't any other ring. Well, there it is. Got it on. Got it greased up right there. This thing, when the machine was running, this thing was just leaking like a sieve, and so it seems to be holding really well now. I went and used it a little bit, got all the air out of it, and so looks good. I'm gonna go around and just grease up everything else. So there it is, y'all. It took me probably 2 hours to do all this, maybe 3 hours. And then I had to wait till the Caterpillar store was open to go up there and make sure I was getting the right part. I'm sure you can order these seals off of aftermarket places, but this being my first time, I wanted to make sure I get the right seal, and they give me some help. So, but completely doable. If you got an old backhoe like this, and you're constantly maintaining it, I think it's you can handle these seals by yourself if you've got some big tools, and it's not that many big tools. I'd say the biggest thing you got to have is that pipe wrench right there. Got to have, and then maybe some big sockets or big wrenches. But you can get most of that stuff at like Harbor Freight and it not cost you an arm and a leg. So I'm glad this thing's back in action, and I gotta go build some horse barns. Thanks for watching, y'all. Got any questions or comments, give me a shout.